Do you hear me?
Sí.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, good morning.
Good
My
morning.
name is Carlos,
Ready for the drink and a
as he
beer.
says. So I'm the guide here, the local guide, and I attend public relations too. So I want to invite you to see the mural from here. It's very different what you are going to see when you are close. Okay, so that handiwork was made in 1960 during 4 years. To 1960, from 1960 to 1964, by a group of farmers, directed by a painter, half Mexican Cuban painter named Leovigildo Gonzalez. So in the early days of
Got a wide angle.
1959, Fidel Castro, with a group of friends, he visited around here. So a Cuban scientist, Dr. Antonio Núñez Jiménez, the president of the Speleological Society since 1930, and the director of Science Academy, he told Fidel Castro about the origin, the sedimentary origin of those mountains named Mogotes, no? As you know. So he also told Fidel about the fossils of prehistorical animals, which were found in local caves. That's why the idea to paint a mural, to represent the geological and biological evolution of the different animals, of those animals, So, and the first thing was to clean the area and limit. And in 1960, the painter, Leovigildo, was living in Mexico before the revolution. That's why he had the opportunity to take some, to work and to study with Diego Rivera, the Mexican muralist,
Yeah, right.
Frida Kahlo's husband. That's why he had the knowledge. That's why he was called to paint the mural. He came here and contracted a group of farmers of the region. And imagine the painter in the base, in front of the wall, directing the farmers which were hanging using ropes and parachute harnesses. The painter was there with binoculars and a microphone, and the farmers were hanging with small brushes, with water-based paint.
Water-based.
They were painting lines, horizontal, parallel lines of 1 inch more or less, because that's the technique that permits us to see from any angle, to see the mural as a flat area. That's why the lines, black lines and color lines. In the case of the color lines, in the background, it depends on the environment, on the habitat where the animals, the figures were living at that time. For instance, at the first glance, we have the ammonites, a kind of mollusks. The mollusks from the Devonic period. In the upper of the blue, you have the Plesiosaurus, from the Jurassic. The black line, the big black line is a virtual line that represents the level of the sea. Because as I told you, those mountains, emerge from the ocean, those were sedimentary mountains. In the center we have the mammals from the Pleistocene, represented by the giant sloth and the giant hutia in the upper. You see, the giant sloth, the megalognus rodents that migrated from South America to the archipelagos. In the case of this part, without any paint, represents a mountain. There you can see a rock of 40 or 60 millions of years age. And at the end, the aboriginals represented by the Guanahata Bayes. The Guanahata Bayes were a kind of aboriginal that came from Central America. They had different migrations, and they were different to the aboriginals of the other part of the archipelago. Those were from the megalithic period, naked. They didn't know anything about ceramic or agricultural. You know, they were different. They were very primitive.